Is that because of the stuff you were doing before with the pulse piece, is it?
How come I don't hear him?
Because I'm not talking yet, Kemmler.
Can you guys hear him?
I'm not in yet, hang on.
I'm trying to join.
Oh, he's not done with that other.
He's doing.
He's not done with it. Please move.
We will start up in a couple minutes, guys. Sorry, I realized that I didn't change the time on this opening slide. So we'll wait like another minute and see who else needs to join us, and then we'll get ahead going, okay? If you have any questions or things that you definitely want to learn or see about Classroom, stick them in the chat right now. So they're things that we can talk about and figure out too.
It was.
Are we supposed to be hearing something? Because I don't hear anything.
Hi, Dawn. We were waiting for everybody to join in.
Okay, I just had to make sure I wasn't glitching.
No?
Okay, good.
We might as well go ahead and get started, guys. There may still be, there's a couple of other people who aren't here yet, but that's fine. So let me turn my camera on because I'm sure Mrs. Kemmler wants to see my pretty face. Hi, Cindy. Cindy, you're muted. All right, so the idea here is that we're gonna spend, half an hour to 40 minutes. And I wanted to share some, we'll call them like best practices or tips and tricks for using Google Classroom. All right, I'm gonna do most of that through, I'm gonna show you some things that I've done that I've set up in my classrooms because I think they work well, okay? And the stuff I'm gonna show you is not geared towards middle school or high school or elementary. It's just some general Google Classroom, like, usability type of stuff, because the goal is to make it easier for you, easier for your kids to, navigate, as well as like find the right stuff in Google Classroom, because it can be kind of overwhelming, especially as we get further on in the year. There's going to be a lot of stuff there. So what I wanted to start with is a really simple, I'm just going to bring up my classroom for you all to see here. All right, so here is my list of classes in Google Classroom. And think about how many classes your kids have here in this list. They probably have a lot, probably something like mine. I've got like 10 or 11 classes here. Some that I'm a member of, some that I am an instructor for. But one of the things you can do to make it a whole lot easier for your kids to find the right class is something like this. Look at this one for digital formative assessment. you can control what's in the banner and you can upload your own photos. Now, I may be a little bit narcissistic, all right, but I'm using a photograph of myself in the header because my students know who to look for. So instead of telling my kids to scroll down and find the Google Classroom that's called Digital Formative Assessment or whatever the class is called, right? I can say, scroll down and tap on my face. All right, and for some of our kids, especially the kids who maybe struggle with some sight words or some of the younger learners, that may be a really quick thing that you can do, a really quick thing that you can add that'll make Classroom a whole lot easier for your kids to navigate. And so I want to show you how you can do that. I'm going to click in the Classroom to go into the Google Classroom, and oh, look at that ugly mug. Well, we're stuck with it. In the bottom right here, I can select upload photo. All right, and when I upload the photo, I have two choices. I can either select something from my computer, or normally I've got something that says upload from Google Drive. But regardless, I don't want to do that anyway. I'm going to cancel. But you can upload a photograph, and even if the photograph isn't a long, skinny photograph, this will crop it for you so that you so that it doesn't like really skew the photograph when you put it in here. Honestly, it's a super like silly thing to think of, right? Is like putting your photo in the banner, and it seems silly. I know none of us want to, log into Google Classroom and see ourselves, but it may make it significantly easier for your kids.
Wait, how did you do that again?
All right, who was that, Peyton? All right, so in Google Classroom, in the class I want to change the header for, on the bottom right of the header, I've got a button that says upload photo. All right, what I did was I just took a photo on my cell phone and upload I sent it to my computer, and then I clicked upload photo here, and I uploaded that photo, and it became my background. All right, it's quick and it's easy, and it's, like I said, a little bit silly, but it works pretty well. All right, so consider, even if you don't add a photograph of yourself in the banner here, consider adding something here so that's not one of those just generic backgrounds, so that you can tell the kids, oh, you can't find my class? Look for the mountains. Oh, you can't find my class? Look for the dog. Something like that. It'll certainly help the kids find and get to your content easier. Now, one thing that I kind of failed to mention before, apologies, is if you've got questions, just turn your mic off and unmute yourself and start talking. I'm not going to be bothered if you talk over me, even you, Leah. So that's fine. Don't worry. I'm here to help and direct as best as I can. So moving on. Next quick little tip for you. All right, and if I have been in your classroom this year or last year, and if I have looked over your shoulder and looked at your Google Classroom, there's a good chance that I already recommended you consider making this change in Google Classroom. This is my stream we're looking at right here. This is my stream for my class. Notice as I scroll down, notice as I scroll down the window or down the stream, all I see are announcements here. I don't see any of my assignments that I have posted in the class. So I've got 5 or 6 things here in the stream, and they're all announcements. My kids have to tap on the classwork button in order to see their work and their assignments. So if I tap on classwork, you will see that I've got a lot of stuff in here. I've probably got about 25 assignments in this class. And, that's not even a lot for a class right now. Think about how many assignments you have right now. And if we go all the way to the end of the year, how many assignments are you going to have by the end of the year? If those things are all also in your stream, it very quickly becomes very unwieldy, and it's just overloaded with information and it's tough to find stuff. So here's what I suggest. In Google Classroom, click on the gear and you scroll down to General, and then you find this option that says Classwork on the stream. All right, there are 3 options here: hide notifications, condensed notifications, and then show attachments and details. So let me show you what that looks like. If you select show condensed notifications, that means that all of your assignments and classwork are going to be on your stream, but they're going to be condensed. They're going to be smaller. So now you can see my assignments come into my stream as a little bar, but my posts are still there full size. So I've got a bunch of assignments now that have been added to my stream. And I think you can probably see how already there's a lot more information here, and I'm already a whole lot closer to information overload. I'm going to go back to that setting, general, classwork on the stream, and I'm going to change that to show attachments and details. This means that every bit of classwork is going to be posted in its entirety on the stream. So now I see the assignment and everything that goes along with it. Here's the assignment, all of my attachments, how many kids have turned it in, all of this stuff, right? So much information, way too much. All right, so that's why I recommend you leave this classwork on the stream set as hide notifications. What that forces you to do is it forces you and your kids to click on the classwork button to see all of your work and assignments. So the kids know that when they go to Google Classroom, it takes them to where they see the announcements first, and then I can click on classwork to see all of my assignments, all of the links that you shared for me, and so on and so forth. Excuse me. So that's something that I recommend to probably every new Google Classroom user. I think it cleans it up. I think it segregates your information nicely, and I think it makes it much more manageable, especially when you start to get lots and lots and lots of assignments. So like I said before, if you've got questions or comments, just toss them right in the chat. And just as an FYI, I am recording this so that we can go back to it later, guys. Just so that we have this as something that as a resource. But the next thing I wanted to show you is another way to kind of like take control of all of your classwork and assignments. Because how many assignments have you given so far? How many things do you have in this classwork tab so far for your class? By the end of the year, you will probably have a whole lot more. If you look at mine right here, as I scroll down through my classwork, you can see that stuff is organized by headings. All right, in Google Classroom, these headings, they're actually referred to as topics. And this is how you can organize the stuff in your classwork. And this is my next kind of like tip for you. And that's, how do you do that?
Ryan. Just turn your volume down. Would you leave everything in there for the whole year, or after a while and you've graded everything, can you get it out of the classroom? Like, would you leave 10 months of assignments in your classrooms?
That's a great question. And somebody asked that last, like half an hour ago too, which I hadn't thought about before, right? Because we've never used Google Classroom for this length of time and had so many assignments. But I would leave things in my Google Classroom for right now. What I might do is I might create a topic that says old work and put everything that's older than like 2 months or a month or something in that topic. It would be a little bit more work on my end, but it would keep stuff organized. I would not recommend you delete things for 2 reasons. Number one, you've got a record of what you asked everyone to do. And number 2, if you start to delete stuff, and if you are someone who uses or wants to start to use the gradebook in Google Classroom, removing assignments will mess with that. So I hope that answers your question. Creating topics is something that's going to be valuable even if you decided to, delete your assignments right now and start all over or whatever. So the topic is just a way to organize your classwork, right? And you see I've got one here called Introduction. I've got one called Capturing Student Voice. Underneath that topic are a couple of assignments, a couple of activities. This one is an assignment. This one is a question. See, I can tell by the icon that is next to everything. So the topics work this way. When you create a new assignment, like I'm doing right here, I'm just going to call this sample assignment. Over here on the right, you will see a drop down called topic, and you can select one of your topics or no topic. I'm going to select this introduction topic again, and I will assign. So now that assignment, that sample assignment, is kind of like nested underneath this heading. So this is really great because it allows you to categorize your content for kids, especially if all your stuff isn't going to appear on the screen. You want to have it organized in this classwork tab. Now you'll see that I have stuff organized in this class by content: introduction, capturing student voice, slides for more than presentations, collaboration. I've got a lot of stuff here. You might decide to have a topic for ELA, science, math. You might decide to have a topic for what you're doing, like recordings or something like that. What those topics are is totally up to you, but it allows you to keep this stuff in the classwork much more organized. Now you see on the left-hand side of my screen here, I have a list that says all topics, and it's got a list of all my topics underneath. This is a filter. So if I click on one of these, it's going to show me only the things that are nested underneath that topic. So I'll come down here to critical thinking, and I click on that, and it shows me only the assignments and things for critical thinking. I can go back, click on all topics, and it will show me all of them again. So if a kid is struggling, you've got a lot of assignments here, and you want them to find, the ELA reading passage about butterflies, and you have a topic set for that.
There's going to be a quick fire alarm text. You do not need to leave the building. Again, it's going to be a quick fire alarm text. You don't have to leave the building.
Sweet. So, so what I can do now is, if I'm looking for something that's in ELA, I can tell the kids, here, go to topics, click on ELA, and then find the one you're looking for. So it's already going to filter out a lot of that stuff for kids. And again, all of this is really just to make it easier for kids to find and get to the stuff that you are putting in Google Classroom for them. Now, one other thing with the topics is you'll see that the information inside them, see what's nested inside them? This is in reverse chronological order. And as far as I can tell, you cannot, oh, you can, this is new, cool, you can move stuff up and down inside those topics. But by default, they're in reverse chronological order. So the most recent assignment is at the top of the topic, and they get older as you go further down. You can also, which is handy, reorder these topics. So I can click on them and move them around. Or click on, here, I'll click on capturing student voice, move it up top here. All right, which makes it, so again, this makes it really easy for you to put certain things at the very top of this classwork page. For example, maybe I'm gonna, so let's create a topic here. I click the create button, I click topic, I'm gonna call it this week's assignments. All right, that's gonna come to the top of my classwork page. Now, anything I add to this is gonna be automatically at the top, right? I'll make an assignment and I will add it to this topic. So as soon as kids click on classwork, it's right up at the top, right in front of them. There's no scrolling to find it. All right, so this is one way that a lot of people who use topics this way, they make one for this week's work. And then at the end of the week, there's 4 or 5 things in there. And at the end of the week, you take those things, you move them to a different topic, start on Monday, nothing in this week's assignments topic. It's quick, it's easy, and it allows that stuff that you're asking the kids to do this week to be very prominently placed right in front of their face as soon as they click on classwork. So I don't know, any questions or thoughts or things on those on topics? If you're not using them, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you do. It will just keep your classwork significantly more organized, which in turn makes it much easier both for you and for the kids to find what you're looking for.
Ryan, it's Amy.
Yes, Amy, go ahead.
At the kindergarten level, we found that it was really, really helpful to put a little emoji right at the beginning of the topic. So that might be helpful for people also, that our kids are able to literally go to classwork, find the emoji, and they can navigate Google Classroom like it's nothing.
So does everybody see what Amy's talking about? Amy,
Very
thank
helpful.
you for
I
sharing
highly
that.
recommend that too.
Thank you, Amy, because that was my next tip. So as you guys see here, right?
Sorry.
No, don't apologize at all. Thank you for that. So the other thing that I've done here to those list of topics is I've added emojis. All right, so you don't have to just have text, right? Why not add a little image, especially if it's going to make it easier for a kid to find something? And you can add the emojis, you know, like I have a little hand here next to introduction. That's an emoji, it's a little picture. You can add them to the name of a topic. You can also add them to the name of an assignment. If you're doing that from an iPad, you have an emoji keyboard that's built right in. If you're doing this from a Chromebook or a desktop though, you have to actually, you have to add the keyboard yourself. So what I'm doing is I'm putting in the chat right now a link to the keyboard, the emoji keyboard that I like to use for Google Chrome. So if that's something that you want to do, you can click on that link and you can, I think it'll say like install or add to Chrome or something like that. And then you can use that to create little emojis. But Amy's right. It's so much easier if you can tell the kids what to look for. Instead of saying, hey guys, find the topic that's called introduction. Well, if I have kids who struggle with reading or are young enough that they're only looking for sight words, they may not know those. So let's add something else, another bit of contextual information to make it easier for them. I love it. Thank you, Amy, again.
Ryan, how do you add it though? I did your download. Now what?
So you click on the link that I gave you, and then you
Yeah.
click the button that says add to Chrome.
Yeah, but how do I get it on my classroom?
So then what it does is it puts a little button in the top right of Google Chrome for you. All right, it might be hidden underneath the button that looks like a puzzle piece. All right, so when you click on that little extension that comes up, it'll show you, it'll give you emojis that you can copy and paste.
You just cut and paste it, so I would cut it and then paste it into my classroom?
You got it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so back to Google Classroom here. Like I said before, any questions or things, guys, you know, toss them right in the chat or just holler out, and we'll figure everything out. We will figure it out together. Okay, so I'm just looking at my list here. The next thing I wanted to kind of give a quick demo of was still back in the classwork tab here, the different types of assignments and classwork that you can create. Because I've seen a number of people put everything in the stream for your class. And if you do that, you put everything in the stream, you start to lose some functionality. There's certain things that you can't do when you post things in the stream. You can't assign stuff specifically to kids, like assign a document to them. You can't make copies of a document. You can't put due dates on things. You can't grade things. So I recommend you leave the stream for announcements only. And under classwork is where you share all of your content. So if you click the create button, you'll see a bunch of different types of content that you can create. You probably won't see the Kami assignment there. That's because I have the Kami extension installed right now. But an assignment is something that has a due date attached to it. All right, an assignment is something, if you want the kids to see a due date for something, you want to use that assignment tool. A quiz assignment is like a Google form, but graded, and something that it'll lock the kids into it. So if you use this quiz tool, it'll give the kids a quiz in Google Classroom where they're just answering questions, multiple choice, open-ended, that type of stuff, and they won't be able to do anything else until they complete the quiz. Maybe it's something really simple like hey, how are you feeling today? Maybe it's, you know, an actual assessment at the end of, you know, a big unit. Maybe it's just some sort of, you know, weekly formative type of deal. You can use it for all of that, and it will automatically grade itself. The question tool, question's really a bad name for this. I think it ought to be called survey, because that's really what this tool is. It allows you to ask a question or take a survey or poll from your kids. For example, you wanted to poll the kids on, hey, do you prefer, you know, recess in the morning or in the afternoon? This would be an easy way to do that. If you wanted to ask them an open-ended question, tell me about your weekend. This would be an easy way to do that. The only difference between this and the quiz assignment is that the quiz assignment can have multiple questions, and the question assignment only, or the question, excuse me, classwork only asks one question. Now, the material one is one that I think is underused. This material, again, I think named poorly. I think this is going to be called resources, right? Because this is how you would share a resource to your kids. If you want to share a video, maybe that you're going to ask them to watch, or a website that you're going to ask them to visit, maybe something you're going to ask them to go to daily, or something along those lines, even a document that you just want them to look at if they need it. This is the tool, or this is the classwork tool for that. It's very quick and easy. It doesn't assign a due date. It doesn't let you grade it, right? Because those are things that would be attached to that assignment type of classwork. This is just for sharing, materials. And I want to show you how I use this one. So I'm going to go into my Google Classroom for the class that I'm teaching at the high school right now, and that is Intro to Computer Science. You'll see that I don't have my assignments in the stream here, just my announcements. So I go to classwork, and my first topic is called Everyday Items. Okay, so that stays right up at the top. And these are 4 links that the kids are going to click on and use every single day in class. So I added them all here so that they're prominent, so that they're here for the kids to click on, and they're available all the time. So the kids click on, Homework Sign Up Club, and here's the link for it. I click on it, it opens it up for me. I can tell what everything in classwork is by the icon that is next to it. There's a different icon for material, for assignment, for question, all that stuff. All right, back to my other class though. I like to use this one. This is my good sample class. All right, so any questions or anything at the moment? Or like 1 or 2 other little things that I wanted to show you guys, and then give you time to play, and I'm here to answer questions and whatnot, okay? Okay, so super important. When we first started using Google Classroom, I don't know about you guys. Did this happen to you? Did anybody start getting about 450 emails a day from Google Classroom? Yeah. So that it gets really unwieldy really quick sometimes, those automated emails that you might be getting from Google Classroom. So I want to show you how you can control what you get emails for. In Google Classroom, you cannot do this while you're in the class. Instead, you have to come over to your list of classes and scroll all the way down to the bottom where you will see settings. So when you click on settings, you will see a big heading that says notifications. Scroll down underneath that, and now you will find, first off, oops, I did not mean to turn my notifications off. First off, you can just turn them all on or off. But even more importantly than that, you can get a little bit granular with what you want to receive notifications for. So you'll see that I don't get notifications when someone comments on my post, but I could. I get notifications when I have returned work from my teachers, but I don't have to, right? So I can get a little bit granular about these types of things, and I can select to turn them on or off depending on the type of notification that I would be getting. If I scroll down to the bottom, I can also activate these by class. So maybe I want to receive notifications for all of my classes except this one right here. So there we go. Now I'm going to receive notifications for everything except for my high school yearbook class. This is also something that if your kids are getting email notifications from Google Classroom, you might want to spend 20 minutes with them and teach the kids to go in here and look at what these notifications are and how to use them. All right, and one last tip for y'all, and then I'll answer questions or help in any other way that I can. And that last tip is this button right here. So right here, my cursor is to do. What this means is these are assignments that I've got that I still have to do. Notice how I'm not in one classroom, right? But I'm at my list of all my classes. If I click on to do here, this is going to show me a list of all of my upcoming work that is due and when it is due for all of my classes. I can select only certain classes, so I've got either all classes or this is the class that I'm not a teacher and I'm a student in this class. This is all my assigned work. I can select all my missing work. See that? I can see all of my done work with, if I got a grade on it, can see the grade that I got. So this is an easy way for you to teach your students to be proactive and look in Google Classroom and tell me if you need to turn in anything to me still. I'm going to go back into my class. And you know how in your class you see upcoming work right here? But this doesn't always show you all of your missed work or all of your old work or something like that. So the same type of thing, if I click view all there, this will give me a list of all of my work just for this class. All right, now I don't get to see like grades and things like that because I'm the instructor in this class, right? But this is where kids would see all of that stuff. Using that to do tab button, I guess you would call it, is a super powerful way to teach kids to be a little bit more proactive with their work on Google Classroom, with their work, excuse me. So this is probably a place to pause. We did a lot of stuff in half an hour. All right, and I want to, leave some time for questions and things, if anybody has questions. But we looked at putting, something on the banner to help you be easily identifiable, turning your classwork off on your stream. We looked at organizing your stuff by topics. We looked at making those topics a lot easier to read. Thank you, Amy. We looked at notifications, and whatever the last one was, I already forgot. We looked at, the to-do list. So are there any questions or things that I can help with or specific needs, guys?
Can you talk a little bit about the return option? I haven't used that yet with kids.
Well, yeah, what do you want to know, Kate? The return option, well, here, I can give you.
Is that what it does?
What it does is when a kid turns in work to you in Google Classroom, it transfers the ownership to you.
Okay.
All right, so that the kid no longer owns that document. That means that they can't edit it anymore, right? So if I turn in work to you, I've turned it into you and I can't make any more changes on it. When you return it to me, you click that return button, that comes back to me and I'm the owner again. So now I can make more changes on it.
Okay, so you can make a comment and they can make fixes and then resubmit it?
That's exactly what it's for. Yep, right on.
Okay.
Anybody else have anything else that I can help with or try to address for you? Well, if you do feel, go ahead.
How do you set up the meeting room?
How do you set up Google Meet?
No. I know how to do that. Like the meeting room, Rich had sent out something about like setting up a meeting room. So like, let's say, for example, my first group is 7:30 to 8, but the next child is not supposed to log in till 8, but they log in at 7:55, but that's not their small group time.
So the meeting room is what Rich sent out was kind of like when you joined our meet here today. See how I had something up on the screen that was saying, hey, hang out, we're going to start at 8:55 or whatever, right?
Exactly. How do we do that?
So all I did was I created a Google slide and I shared that with you. However, what you're actually asking for is a feature that is available now in Google Classroom. Excuse me, in Google Meet, okay? So I don't know if you're going to see it because I'm the one who started the Meet. But when you start a Google Meet, you now have the ability to control, to kind of like force kids to knock on the door, like kind of say, hey, can you let me in? And then you have to either allow them or not. So I'm going to share a different screen with you guys for a hot second here. I'm going to share my entire screen. So it's going to get a little bit messy for a second. All right, you're going to see yourselves, okay? You're going to see the Meet. All right, so somebody give me a thumbs up if you can see the whole Meet here. Cool. All right, so check this out now. In the bar across the bottom of the Meet, I've got this new little blue shield, which is host controls that you have. When you click on this, you have a couple, you can not allow people to share their screen, not allow them to chat, but even more importantly, quick access. If you turn this off and someone tries to join your Google Meet, it's not going to let them. It's going to put a little pop-up on your screen that says, Ryan Aurelio is trying to join your Meet, allow or deny. So if you turn this off, now kids cannot interrupt you without you allowing them to. Now no one else can join that Meet, even if they have the link from Google Classroom, right? But now no one else can pop in unless you click allow.
So you turn it off, Ryan?
If you turn it off, that's what will happen.
Okay. And then when it's their time, you just turn it back?
Sure, or you can leave it off. That's up to you. If you leave, because when a kid clicks on the link to get in the Google Meet, it'll come up on your screen. It'll say, Ryan Aurelio wants to join. Do you want to allow or deny?
Oh, so you can leave it off the whole time and then just allow them when it's their turn to rejoin. Thank you. Okay.
Yes. Yep. Anything else that I can help with, guys?
Can you show again how you got to that screen right there, the meeting safety? What did you click on to get to that?
Sure. It's this button right across the bottom here, this little blue shield.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Having a little bit of difficulty.
So anything else that I can help with, guys? I mean, I'll stay on here and answer questions and whatnot if there's anything I can help with. Otherwise, play around. Definitely use these things, and I don't know. I guess that's it. And I love Google Classroom. I think it's awesome.
Ryan, do you think we should like put 10-week work and then move everything down? Do you think that would be helpful? Like, and then 20 weeks, move it down and then start again with topics?
I think it would be helpful to organize it in some way. It may not make sense to do it by 10 weeks and 20 weeks for everybody, because that's still a lot of information. I would more likely recommend you consider organizing it by content. You know, because even if you have a topic that's 10 weeks, you're gonna have 30 assignments in there, and that's still gonna be tough for people to navigate.
Okay.
Cool.
Katie, I just want to say in kindergarten, Amy and I have like probably 50 topics.
Okay.
And with all of the emojis, the kids know to look for certain things, like look for the I's for sight words, letter of the day, letter songs. So we have it very specific.
Okay. And they're not confused because the new assignment's always at the top?
No.
Okay. Thanks.
So hope that helps.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna leave you here then. All right. Shoot me an email if there's other stuff that I can help you with. Otherwise, I hope that this was helpful for you. Sincerely.
Wait. Turn yours off, Kemmler. You still there, Ryan?
Still here.
All right. So can I organize? Just turn your volume all the way down.
Tell Kemmler to mute her computer.
All right. Just organize. Can I organize by like math, science, social studies, and then sub-organize once I'm into those categories?
No, you cannot make topics inside of topics.
Okay. That was my question. All right.
Sorry.
If you don't get to that topic, can you move it down?
Yeah.
It automatically moves down, right, when you put a new topic in?
It does, but you can also order them the way that you want. You can move them.
Did you hear that?
You can move the topics up and down in the list.
Hello. Sorry. All right. Was that what you were asking, Kim?
Yeah, like if you don't get to that topic, then it automatically be moved 4 spaces down or something.
Yes.
I don't know what you're getting at there, Kemmler.
Put your microphone on and talk.
No, I can hear Cindy, but I'm not sure exactly what she's asking. Are you asking if
Like if you get to that topic that day, and it might be 2 weeks before you get to it, can you move it down like 4?
Yes.
4
Okay.
spaces and then get to the
You
next
can.
topic that's in the list.
You can. Yes, you can do that, but it's not going to happen automatically. You have to tell it to do that.
you can click on it and shift it down.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. So have a good one, guys.
Thank you.